everyone, my name is Keely. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. And I am officially cut off from book buying. I have been doing so good this year of not buying a abundance of books, and then September hit. And I've been buying books like I shouldn't be. So, welcome to a book haul. I'm also really bad at filming book hauls in a timely manner, so I have almost 30 books to show you in this haul, and we're gonna do them pretty rapid fire because I have things to do today and I don't want to go into too in-depth of a synopsis because a lot of times with books, I don't like to read too much into them. I usually just look at buzzwords and I'm ready to pick them up. A few of these I have already read as well, so let's go ahead and get on into it. The first book here is The Lost Book of the White by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu. This is book 2 in the Red Scrolls of Magic series, and this is an Alec and Magnus series, and they are my favorite fictional couple of all time. I have read this book and I gave it 5 stars. So in my new neighborhood, I have a ton of little free libraries. So these next 3 books I got from all of my little free libraries. This one is Midnight by Dean Koontz. I have not read any Dean Koontz books, but he is a very famous horror author, so I really want to read from him. I don't remember what this one's about. It might be a pandemic book. I'm not really sure. I just saw it in the little free library and was like, okay. And then I saw The Woman Outside My Door by Rachel Ryan. This is an adult thriller that I have never heard of, but I'm always looking for new thrillers, and I really don't own a lot of unread thrillers, and so I'm trying to add that to my collection, and it was free. And the last one from the little free library is Under a Painted Sky by Stacey Lee. I've read 2 books from Stacey Lee before. She is a young adult mystery historical author, and I think this one is the same. This is set in New York in 1849. So we love to see that. She is also a Chinese American author, so she writes a lot of own voices stories. So I'm interested in reading this one. Next, I was having a bad day, so I bought 6 books. The first one I have to show you is The Secret Book of Flora Lee by Patty Callahan Henry. I saw this on a table at Barnes & Noble that was like books for book lovers, and this one follows 2 sisters, and one of the sisters always told her little sister this story about this magical made-up world. When one day the little sister goes missing until years later, the older sister sees a book in a bookstore about this world that she would tell her sister about, and so she's starting to wonder if her sister is still out there. Sounds fantastic, and I love books for book lovers. Next, I have How I'll Kill You by Ren DeStefano. I am obsessed with this cover. I absolutely love it. I have heard some things about this book before, but when I saw this cover, I was like, I need that. I believe this is about women who kill men, maybe something like that, but I picked it up because, again, I need more thrillers in my life. Next is another book that was on that books for book lovers table, and this is The Library of Borrowed Hearts by Lucy Gilmore. Don't know anything, love the cover, and I love books for book lovers. It just says 2 young lovers, 60 long years, 1 bookish mystery worth solving. So I'm interested. Next, I have a book that I have been wanting for so long because every time I go to the store, I see other books in this series and I could never find the first book until I went to Barnes & Noble specifically for this book, and that is First Down by Grace Riley. This is obviously a sports romance. This one is football and she is a photographer. I'm really into football and I'm a photographer, so like this is my story. She's also blonde, same. So I am really hoping I love this one because I kind of have high hopes because I was looking for it for so long. Next, I have Just Another Missing Person by Gillian McAllister. This is one of my favorite authors of all time because of Wrong Place, Wrong Time. That is like my favorite book of all time. Like thriller wise, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was genius. So I want to read anything this author writes. I don't know anything about it. The tagline says, not everyone who is lost should be found. Dun dun dun. Sounds good just because this author, and I love her, and I've had such a great time with her books before, at least one of her books. But my plan is to read all of hers. And another sports romance is The Game Changer by Lana Ferguson. I believe this is a hockey romance. That's what it looks like. I have never read a hockey romance book. I love sports, but I am not a hockey girl, so I'm kind of intrigued why hockey seems to be the main sports romance genre type thing. But I'm interested because she is a baker. And if you know me, foodie romances are my kryptonite. Absolutely obsessed. The spine actually has a little cupcake on here, and that's kind of what drew me in initially. I've heard great things about this author as well, so we shall see. The next two books I got in my very first Aardvark book box ever. The first one I have is So Thirsty by Rachel Harrison. This is a vampire horror novel. And I also picked up Lady Macbeth by Ava Reed. I believe this is a fantasy horror novel. I don't really know anything about this, but the cover, I have been wanting to read this book ever since it was announced because the cover is stunning. And of course, anything with vampires I will read. I've read one Rachel Harrison book before and I didn't love it, but everyone is obsessed with this author, and so I do want to try out all of her other books, especially A Vampire Story. The next three books I got at a used bookstore called Second and Charles. The first one is Float Plan by Trish Dollar. I've heard great things about this one, and it is a grief story, and grief stories are my absolute favorite. It follows this woman who just lost her fiance, and she goes on the sailing trip that she was supposed to go on with him. So I hope it's hard-hitting. I hope it's lovely and wonderful and heartwarming as well. Yet another book I know nothing about, but I got because of the author, is The Lovely and the Lost by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I love Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I've read several of her books, and most of them are 5 stars. I saw this one for like $4, and of course I'm gonna pick it up because she is one of my auto-buy authors. And the last book I got at Second and Charles is another one I have heard amazing things about, and that is Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. Again, I don't know what this one is about. I don't need to know because I am interested in reading all of Christina Lauren's books. I have read a few of their books before and absolutely love them, so I am definitely intrigued by this one because everybody loves it. Next, I had to purchase I Loved You in Another Life by David Arnold. This was one of my top books of last year, and there was a hardcover sale going on, and I didn't own this book physically, so I needed to buy it. This is another love story surrounding grief, and it is absolutely fantastic. It is also young adult. The characters are so realistic and believable, and it is just such a beautiful, beautiful story, and I highly recommend this one. Next, I got Snow Globe by So Young Park, and this is a brand new dystopian novel, I believe, the start of a new series, and it is Korean, so I was already hooked because dystopian and Korean stories, I'm absolutely intrigued, and this cover is so stunning as well, so I'm hoping that it is another great dystopian that I can add to my collection. And yet another grief book is Grief is for People by Sloane Crossley. This is actually a nonfiction grief story all about Sloane's journey with grief, and I am so intrigued because through the last few years I have really learned so much about my own grief journey, and grief is such an important topic for me that I really love to talk about, so I'm interested in reading more nonfiction about it. Next is another little free library find, and that is Mary by Nat Cassidy. Honestly, somebody in my neighborhood has taste because this little free library that I get all my books from is amazing, and I cannot believe this was in it. This is a horror story. It is kind of a retelling of Stephen King's Carrie, except this is about an older woman named Mary going through menopause. I've heard fantastic things about this author, and so I cannot wait to pick it up. Next, I have Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This is the second book in the Part of Your World companion trilogy. I absolutely loved the first book, and I'm really intrigued with this one because I know that it does involve kidney donation and kidney disease. My dad is a kidney donor, so we've been really heavily involved in that process, so I'm interested to see how it is done in this book. I've heard that it's done really well. Next, I have Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto. This is Julie Soto's second book, and I really loved her first book, Forget Me Not. This one involves romance and music, and so I'm really interested in that because I did love her book so much, but there was just a little bit that was missing for me, so I'm hoping her second book just knocks it out of the park. Next, I got Haunted Ever After by Jen DeLuca. I picked this one up because this is a spooky romance. This is clearly perfect for the fall. It says it's love at first haunting in a seaside town that raises everyone's spirits in this new series. So, seems absolutely perfect for this time of year, and I'm really hoping to do a vlog soon, like reading fall-themed romance books, and this will definitely be on there. Next, I have a middle grade, and that is The Pumpkin Princess and the Forever Knight by Stephen Branbury. This cover is so cute, and this is actually set on Halloween, so I'm hoping to actually read this on Halloween day because I do have off that day. It says, on Halloween, it is always wise to expect the unexpected. So I'm really excited because I just feel like middle grade is also perfect for this time of year. Next, I have Let the Games Begin by Rufaro Faith Mazurura, and this one is one that I have been so interested in reading because the Olympics were obviously this summer. I watched the Olympics like it was my full-time job, and I am a huge sports girl, and this one is about pro athletes, specifically track athletes. Yes, a track romance is everything I need in my life. If you don't know, track and field, cross country, running, those are my favorite sports. And so the fact that this involves like Olympic Games and running, oh my gosh, you can already see my excitement. The next one I got is Shudder by Ramona Emerson. This one is a thriller. I believe it's kind of like an investigative detective thriller. I got this one because I was at Barnes & Noble and it was the buy one, get one 50% off, and I wasn't sure what to get for the other one, so I picked this one up because I believe it follows a woman who is a forensic photographer, and she has cracked many cases. She's really good at capturing details, supernaturally good, and she sees the ghosts of crime victims who point her toward clues that other investigators overlook. So it seems like there's some paranormal aspects going on in here as well. Another little free library find is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I have heard fantastic things about this one. I've also heard that it's very, very heartbreaking and hard to read at times, but this is kind of like a story of what would happen if you had made a different choice in your life. Again, I believe this deals with grief, so I'm very excited about it. And the last book I have for this haul is Drizzled with Death by Jessie Crockett, and this is actually the book buddy read for the readathon that Hannah from the Teachers TBR is hosting. I am actually a co-host for this readathon. It is happening in November, and it is cozy with a side of food, so it revolves all around books that have a food subplot. I've already stated in this video that is my favorite subgenre of books, specifically romance, and this is actually a foodie cozy mystery. And like I said, this is kind of the group buddy read for the readathon, and it will be my first cozy mystery, so I'm really, really excited to read it with Hannah, Gabby, and the rest of everyone that is joining this amazing readathon. I really hope you join because I cannot wait to read and talk about food books with everybody, but I'm excited. First cozy mystery, and I can't wait to co-host that readathon. I'm so glad Hannah asked me to be a part of it. So those are all the books that I have to haul today. Sorry if that was very quick and I didn't really give any synopsis, but now you know the books that have recently joined my bookish collection. But that is it for this video. If you have made it this far, go ahead and leave the book stack emoji. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching. As always, all my social media links will be down below, and I will see you next time. Bye!